girls, but they didn't like my pimples. I used to be such a stupid dork. Day and night, crying on the floor. They used to laugh and beat me up. My milk money taken when I was growing up. I remember all the bad times and pick them apart. It feels like someone is shoving their tape onto my heart. I ride the unicycle with no seat down the bumpy road of life. I ride the unicycle with no seat down the bumpy road of life. You know, when I was a boy, my father used to look down at me and say, "What the hell is even that? Go outside and touch some grass. Why don't you go kiss a girl, you stupid loser?" I ride the unicycle with no seat down the bumpy road of life. I ride the unicycle with no seat down the bumpy road of life.
In times of crisis, you need a law firm that stands by your side. With over 40 years of experience, Craig and Getsoulis is dedicated to fighting for your rights. As former state prosecutors, our attorneys have the knowledge and trial experience to provide an aggressive defense against any charge, from DUIs to homicides. If you've been injured, our compassionate team will assess your case and fight for the compensation you deserve. Serving all of New Hampshire, Craig and Getsoulis is here when you need us most. Visit craigatzulis.com or call 603-5551-234 for a free consultation. Craig and Getsoulis, your advocates, your allies.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. Located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Diz's Cafe is the place to put a smile on your face. Judy and the crew will take care of you. Bring your appetite and treat your taste buds right. Diz's Cafe is always a winning choice. Breakfast, lunch, or supper. Diz's Cafe at 860 Elm Street in downtown Manchester. Dine in, take out, or make a reservation. Call 603-606-2532. Eat, drink, and be happy. Diz's Cafe.
When it comes to keeping WMNH on the air and your own personal or business computer needs, trust Grolin Computers. Located on Elm Street in Manchester, Grolin handles computer repair, virus removal, and custom-built systems. Are you looking for budget-friendly options? Check out our selection of fully inspected used computers. We offer tailored on-site solutions. No unnecessary expenses here. Visit Grolin.com or call Grolin Computers at 603-645-0101. Your tech, your way. Trust Grolin Computers.
Midnight.
7 times out of 10,
We listen to our music at night. Thus spawned the title of this program.
Late Night Delight with DJ Midas, right here on WMNH Manchester.
You want to know why? Because I'm on the radio.
Saturdays and Sunday nights, midnight to 4 a.m.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Behold the harmony of airwaves as you immerse yourself in the captivating frequencies of WMNHLP, the sonic heartbeat of Manchester, transcending through the ether at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation. Our transmissions emanate from the zenith of 1000 Elm Street. Venture into the heart of our creative realm at 119 Canal Street, where innovation and sound collide. We bear the imprimatur of Manchester Public Television Service in the venerable city of Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Enrich your auditory journey with the depth of our licensed resonance. Dispatch your missives to WMNH953@gmail.com or traverse the virtual corridors of WMNHradio.org. Engage with our sonic vibrations by communing with us through the digital channels. Your radio beckons, eager to enthrall you with its mesmerizing cadence and envelop you in a symphony of boundless auditory wonder.
You're listening to WMNH 95.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
The commander to the supreme leader, Matzo coming down.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Here we go. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious Manchester, New Hampshire. It is Saturday, August 24, 2024. We've got a great show for you today. And I am not alone in studio.
Good morning, sunshine.
Jenny is here, of course, at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
Yes, yes. And in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be joined via Skype by Boeden Greenley. He's the author of a book called Perseverance, which I read. I had the pleasure of reading recently. Looking forward to speaking with him about it, although it's a pretty heavy subject, but we'll get into that, of course. We've got Silicon Kong in the second hour, and third hour, Under the Horizon, which is, I'm particularly looking forward to speaking with them because not only do I love their sound, but the manager of the band is somebody who I used to do a lot of business with back in the day. And he was in a band and I was in a band and we played a lot of shows together and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to that. But so it'll be a fun show today.
Yes, it's going to be. Yes.
Yes. Do we have time? Yeah, we should mention, what's the event there that you wanted to...
Yeah, so the Gail Singer blood drive just happened, and I went there, and I want to encourage you, please consider donating blood. If you did not in this past drive, there are lots of opportunities to, and right now there's actually a critical blood supply shortage, which means lives are on the line. So if you have the ability to do it, it doesn't take long, about an hour or so out of your time, or even less, depending on, where you go for it. But it's quick, it's easy, and you have the ability to save lives. Also about saving lives, while I was there, the American Red Cross has a really great program to try and prevent people from dying in house fires. And you can actually get a free smoke alarm installed in your house, and they'll check your house and let you know if there are any fire hazards you need to take care of. So if, the bad thing happens, you guys get out alive and you get out safely. So if you're interested in getting a free smoke alarm and having your house checked to see if you have any fire hazards that you can take care of, just check out the American Red Cross. Now you can go to their website at redcross.org and just look up in-home smoke alarm, and you can find out where you can get it there. Or you can give them a call at 1-800-464-6692. That's 800-464-6692. They will bring you a brand new smoke alarm, install it for you, and make sure that you and your family will be able to get out of your house safely. So absolutely check that out. Also, if you're not able to donate blood, you can be a volunteer, and that's always a need. So if you're interested in being a volunteer, check out the Red Cross, redcross.org/volunteer, and consider doing that. They do great things for us, and I can tell you as a former EMT and working in an emergency room, blood supplies are life, 100%. Something bad happens, and that emergency blood is literally the difference between life and death for a lot of people. And there's actually a lot of illnesses that are treated by blood donations. So you can help people that are chronically ill and perhaps they need immunoglobulin. If you've got some to give, please consider donating. As I said,
that's a fun word. Immunoglobulin.
Immunoglobulin, yes.
I'm going to work that in the conversations a lot now. Immunoglobulin.
So that's actually what they call what my neurologist calls the drug of last resort for me, is IVIG, and it actually takes about 10,000 blood donations to make just one dose of IV immunoglobulins.
You need a lot of immunoglobulins?
Yes.
That's
there are people that cannot live without it.
Yes.
Their bodies are so bad that they need to have it regularly infused and actually have nurses come to their homes and do it right at home. So it is a really big deal. Please consider doing it. And like I said, the American Red Cross is giving out free smoke alarms. They'll install it for you and help you stay safe and prevent a fire from taking you or your loved ones' lives.
Well, very good. Very good. Also, we should mention, so a couple quick we've got a couple of shows to go to. So, tomorrow night we're going to go, Great White. We're going to see them at Tupelo because opening for them is Under the Horizon. And we'll talk more about that in the third hour, when the band is with us under the Horizon.
Looking forward to meeting them in person.
And then, also, and this has been a few months in the making now, but Tuesday night,
yes,
Green Jello / Green Jelly. I'm never sure which name to call them. I think they prefer Green Jello. Green Jelly was just a legal alternative, shall we say. But they were on the show with us a couple of months ago after they played here in Manchester. And Tuesday night, they're going to be at Terminus in Nashua. We had, of course, our friends from Terminus and the Midnight Creators Collective. Midnight Creatives Collective. Yes, I always get that wrong. Eleanor and Andre and Spelfie here with us a couple of weeks ago. Yes. But this Tuesday night's the big night, Green Jello at Terminus. It is a free show at 7 p.m. It is 21 plus, BYOB. But come check it out. Terminus is amazing. You can see Jenny's art. Jenny is the featured artist there on the walls at the Midnight Creatives Collective and Terminus.
Of my darkest piece.
Yes.
Which was really crazy to see them hanging all together.
Yeah.
Really, really bizarre. So yeah, if you want to check out some of my darkest work, you can actually see that while we're seeing Green Jello. And I am so excited to this concert.
And bring your pool noodles if you have them.
Yes, pool noodles are a must.
But yes, so
come in costume.
Green Jello, again, that is this Tuesday night, the 27th at 7 p.m. The address is 134 Haynes Street in Nashua. And I've never seen them live. I
have not either. And this is a special thing because they don't do this all the time. This is a free concert that they wanted to put on.
Yeah.
And they asked us to help them find the great location to host this free concert.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited about that.
Yeah. Well, you helped to facilitate it.
Yes, I did. I got to say I actually booked Green Jello twice now.
Yeah. It was
on radio and for a show. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild, where after they were on the show, what was that, in June?
Yeah.
Afterward, we're talking, they were our last guests of the day. So we were just kind of talking for a few minutes after the after we got off the air, and Bill Mansfield, he's like, yeah, we're going to be coming back through. We should, if you got anywhere, if you got a venue for us, we'd love to do a free show somewhere. And
he was very particular about that too. Yeah, that was something special they wanted to do. And I thought that was really awesome that they wanted to honor us here in the great state of New Hampshire with a free concert. And yeah, so come on out, join us. Come say hi to Matt and I.
Yes.
We'd love to meet you in person.
Absolutely. So,
and good morning to Scott Beatley.
Oh, okay.
He
yes.
is in the chat room. He said, good morning, Matt and Jen.
Oh,
I was
very
saying
good.
Good morning back. Good morning, B. Bernard. I see you too. And Under the Horizon is checking us out. They're talking that they're very happy and looking forward to coming in later this morning when we're going to see them in person.
Yes.
Which I'm really looking forward to. These guys are hard workers, and getting to open up for Great White's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, our guest hasn't Skyped in yet, although he's got another 30 seconds. But I'll just quickly say, so back in the day, because I made reference to this earlier, and I'm sure we'll talk about it too when Mike is here. So Mike is the dad of one of the band members, but Mike is, and so he's managing them too, and doing all this promotion for them. He's the one who reached out to us. But Mike Palmer, years ago, he was in a band called Disorder by Design, and I was in a band at the time called My Life Crisis. And we played a lot of shows together. You know, I talk about it on the show a lot with different bands that come in, you know, how sometimes it happens organically. Bands kind of team up and end up playing a lot of shows together. So we played a lot of shows with Disorder by Design. Plus, I booked them on some shows that My Life Crisis wasn't even on, because at that time I was also doing a lot of promotion, you know, booking a lot of shows and whatnot. So I booked Disorder by Design for a lot of shows. And they were, I don't know what ever happened to them. They were great band, very intense live. Really, really good, very professional. And Mike was always, you know, in Disorder by Design, he was always the guy too, who was, you know, kind of the manager business guy. So he was always wonderful to deal with. So when he reached out to us, he said in the email, he was like, is this the same Matt Connarton? I said, yep, it's me, which, you know, it likely will be, because there are very few of us. There are very few Matt Connartons in the world. I've checked. There is another Matt Connarton right here in New Hampshire, but he's my uncle, so that kind of doesn't count.
He was just letting me know that he sent a message on Skype, so hopefully he'll see my message to call.
Our guest...
I don't think that you can see that part. Yes. Our guest is...
He sent a message to us on Skype?
That's what he says. That's what he said.
Because you can do that. But
just sent over a message through Skype.
Well,
not sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. You can message people on Skype, but I'm not seeing it. But he should just go ahead and connect.
Yeah,
Because I don't, the way this,
for gosh sakes.
The way the Skype account's set up, I don't have to accept his message before he connects with us. He can just connect with us. I think you have the option of setting it so only people with whom you've previously connected can Skype you.
Oh, okay.
There's different ways you can set it up, but ours, I think, is open. I think literally anybody in the world, if they had our Skype ID, not that we're going to give it out because we don't want just anybody in the world doing that, but I think anyone can Skype us.
Oh, that's true.
If they have the ID.
If they have the ID, yes, they can. Or I think they can look it up on email too, right? Oh, wait, we don't do that anyway.
There's different ways to do it, but
that's true.
Skype is funny and quirky and weird, but it works a lot better than it used to. I remember way back first using. Oh, he's actually calling the studio line.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do that.
Assuming this is him.
Hopefully.
Hello, is this our guest?
Hey, Matt. It's K Daver. How you doing?
Oh, it's K Daver. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I don't know if I'm crashing the party. Feel free to kick me off. I'm about to go to a shoot right now, and I just saw your Facebook Live, and it said call now, so I thought I'd just join in and say hi.
Yeah, we do have a guest who's supposed to be Skyping in momentarily, but he hasn't yet. He's a couple minutes late, so he might be having a technical issue. So go ahead and plug what you're doing, man. What you said you're going to, you got a video shoot?
Yeah, so my company, Fourth Kind Films, which is, so I just said K Daver in the sense that that's how you know me, but
yes,
I don't want to say I've left that life. I still do music dabbling, but I pretty much put all my focus into my film company over the last year and a half, which is pretty much just gone to the moon. I have commercials on NBC right now for Can-Am Bridges, working on documentaries, everything in between. I do recruitment videos for police departments. I do weddings, music videos, you name it. And so right now I'm going over to this event called the Apple Pie Fair.
Uh-huh.
It's an event in Newport, New Hampshire, so going to do a little event recap for them today, and then next week I got a plethora of shoots as well. But yeah, that's what I got going on, man. How's life with you?
Good.
That's awesome. We should get you in.
Yeah. Our guest just joined us via Skype, so we're going to shift over to him. But I'm really glad you called. That's amazing. Congratulations on that. And, Jenny does the booking for the show now, so let's get you back on, partly because it would be great to see you. But also, I definitely want to get updated on everything that you're doing, because that's great news. It sounds like you're having a ton of success, and I'm very, very happy for you. You deserve it. You've been at this a while, and you
100%.
You deserve it, man.
Absolutely. Just one more time for anyone out there, Fourth Kind Films. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Again, my apologies for crashing. I know sometimes you do kind of open platform shows for people to call in, so I don't know if that was one of those times, but I'll let you go back to doing what you're doing.
No, your timing.
No, you were perfect.
Your timing was perfect, my friend. And yes, we will talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good day.
All right, K-Daver, take care. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see here. And so we do have our guest is Boeden. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Boeden Greenley. Am I saying that correctly? Boeden?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. That's not a name I think I've ever seen before, but I like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Boeden Greenley is Skyping in. Now, where are you, Boeden? Where are you located?
I'm in North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Right outside of Fargo.
Oh, okay. Fargo. Well, we all know about Fargo because of the movie.
Yeah.
But so you have written a book, which I read, and thank you for sending that to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perseverance. And, I referenced earlier when I mentioned that you were going to be joining us. I mentioned that, pretty heavy stuff. It's a heavy subject. It's a light read in the sense that it's not particularly long, but it's not a light read in the sense that, like I said, it's pretty heavy stuff. And let me ask you this right up front, and we can kind of work backwards a little bit, but I want to know this, and then we'll get into for our listeners what it's about and everything. But how is your mother now? Because the book is, of course, about the ordeal health-wise that your mother has been through. As we sit here today, how is she doing?
Yeah, so she's definitely better than she was at her worst by a lot, but she's certainly not 100%. I'd say somewhere in the 40% realm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Which I think in the book, that's kind of where you left it, was she was at about 40%. So,
yes.
So, Boeden, if we could, can you go ahead and tell us about the book and what it's about? And, I'm sure I'll have some questions. I read it the other night, and I'll have some questions along the way. But for our listeners to kind of get acquainted, I'd like you to kind of tell us a little bit about the book and what it is that drove you to write this.
Yeah, so this was something that I'd wanted to write for a long time. It was a situation that directly involved me, and once I got a little older here, I was like, I feel like this is something that is more common than the industry makes it seem like it is. Like, this is something, to me, I feel everybody kind of sweeps under the rug, and I really wanted to get this story out there and make people knowledgeable on this topic. So basically going back, so right now I'm 19 years old. This started when I was about 12 years old. So going back, she had a tooth issue going on, and she needed an implant and was debating on getting a ceramic or a titanium implant. And doctors pushed her to go titanium. She decided to go titanium, got that put in there. And then probably like 3 months after getting it, she started getting all these terrible things going on in her body. It started getting really bad. She ended up getting it out like probably 7 months after that. And then just from there on, it was really bad that next year, and then got a little bit better, but then it's still been struggling with problems for a long, long time.
And as this is going on, did she or did anyone have any idea that it was the tooth?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty much clear as day that it was the tooth. She was as healthy as you could possibly be prior to this. She was a person that was like lifting every day, ran a lot, all these things, and no just common anything was taking her down at all. Like she was literally as healthy as it could be, and then got this tooth, and right after, boom, we had problems galore.
And this is, have you been able to find other documented cases similar to this, or is this such a rare thing that you really can't find anything like this happening to anybody?
Yeah, I actually, I haven't looked into specific cases a ton, but even so, I'm from a pretty small town, and I even know a couple people close to me that had similar symptoms to my mom when getting titanium put in their body. So I know that this happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Jenny, of course, with her experience and what she's been through, she knows a lot about when it's difficult to get something diagnosed and, figuring out exactly what the problem is. She has a lot of experience with that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to that. When you're dealing with something that's unusual, it's so much harder to get it diagnosed because, if it's not something common, really, I mean, why would the medical community know a lot about it or be able to figure out and identify the problem and then go from there and figure out solutions if it's something that doesn't happen very often?
Exactly.
So the titanium, it sort of poisoned her, right? It caused her, it wrecked her health in a sense, right?
Yeah. So this is one thing I want to really kind of make clear here. So in my opinion, I don't believe that the titanium is a huge issue when dealing with this. The problem is titanium implants are 6% aluminum, and that's where the problem became. So they use aluminum as a filler metal. Okay. It's because aluminum per ounce is way cheaper than titanium per ounce. So they can use that, and keep in mind they're outputting 2.5 million implants per year. So when you're talking that scale, that money that it takes to create the implant, that really matters. So the aluminum was the issue.
And if go ahead, Jenny. What?
No, I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
And I never knew. I never knew that there was aluminum in the titanium implants.
Yeah. Well,
never knew that.
It's interesting that you say that because I think in the book, I think you kind of talk about that too, Boeden, that they don't tell you that up front, right? Like, don't they kind of sell it to you as it's titanium and they just say that's what it is, and they don't tell you, well, it's titanium, but it's also aluminum and it's this and it's that?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like maybe somewhere in the fine print of the contract, that's they say it in there.
Yeah.
But they definitely don't make it clear when they're telling you, that's for sure. And the thing too is, I don't know if you guys know, lately there's been a big uprising with aluminum in the deodorants.
That I'm very aware of. I'm a breast cancer survivor. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, to me, so now everybody's opening up to aluminum and deodorants, which is simply just putting it on topically on your skin, but then it's okay to implant it into your body. It's like, that makes no sense.
Right.
That's a super valid point.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, aluminum and deodorant. That's one of the first things they told me to stop using was antiperspirant, because that's the main ingredient there is the aluminum.
Yep.
Deodorant by itself doesn't have it.
Right.
And let me take a guess. So you said you're a breast cancer survivor?
Yep.
Was your breast cancer like really close to your armpit?
No, actually.
Okay.
It was closer to my back. It was in the back of my breast tissue, and there was also a precancerous area that had started under the areola.
Okay.
So I kind of had it on both sides of this area as far as thickness goes. It was way up front and way in the back.
Does make you wonder though a little bit, right?
100%. Of course. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid, my dad going, "Oh, it's time for you to get deodorant now." It was like a thing. You had to start using deodorant. I mean, yeah, and always use deodorant. That's it's ingrained into your head, right? How many of us would bring it to school and reapply? I mean,
right.
Yeah, I was reading a study the other day. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's a big increase in breast cancer towards really close to the armpit.
Oh,
because they're saying it's directly linked to the aluminum in the.
Well, that's where the main lymph nodes start, and that's where the first two lymph nodes are that are normally, and in my case, were dissected and removed.
Sure.
And some people lose way more than that because they keep going. They start with those lymph nodes right in the armpit. You're 100% correct, and then it goes backwards from there.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
You've certainly done your research, that's for sure. And this is good information to be sharing. Most people don't consider what's in their antiperspirant that they're using, and that aluminum actually like blocks you and then gets into your body. He's right. He's 100% right.
And that's why they put it in there, because it actually clogs the gland so you don't sweat as much.
Exactly.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And nobody wants to sweat and be stinky. And you're really better off if you do sweat. Sweating is a good thing. Your body's supposed to do it for a reason.
Yes.
That's true. One of the things that surprised me in the book, Boeden, was, and this surprised me in a very sad way, is I kind of thought as I'm reading it, as you're going through the story, once they identified that the tooth was that titanium / aluminum tooth was what was probably the issue, and they took it out. I would have hoped that over time she would start to get better. And I guess she did start to get better, right? But not enough. As you said, even today, she's still at only 40%, because I remember getting to that part in the story and thinking, okay, this is probably a good turning point, right? Now that they've taken that out, hopefully she's sweating it out. Hopefully, it's leaving her body, but apparently not, or maybe it has, but the damage is done. I don't know. I mean, what do you say about that?
Yeah, it really is remarkable to me, and I truly don't understand it. I don't know. I think she might go in here and see. We were thinking there might still be fragments of something in her body.
Oh, okay.
Because
that's what I'm thinking.
There's absolutely no way something takes this long to heal. And I just think her body is, whatever is in her body, she just cannot defend it. So, yeah, it truly is remarkable. And if there isn't anything else, I don't know. Her body just fighting it off is impossible. It's crazy.
I'm wondering what got put into her bloodstream, into her body, because this is really hitting home for me because of the tamoxifen toxicity that I have.
Yep.
I'm tamoxifen toxic. My body can't get rid of it. It implanted itself everywhere. And I'll always be tamoxifen toxic. There's no way to clear it out of my body. So, and it has had significant effects to my eyes and my ears. I mean, my right eye has a hole in it because of it. But I'm like relating to your mom's story so much, because I'm thinking, yeah, she had this in her body, and your mouth is actually super, super porous, right? This is, in fact, it's one of the fastest ways to give you a medication is under your tongue. Mm-hmm. That is literally one of the fastest ways. So you have to remember that. It's also one of the quickest ways to get sick, because oftentimes people will get a tooth infection, goes untreated, gets into the blood system, and now you can actually die from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen people in the intensive care unit with something that started in their mouth. So that's 100% true. So it makes me think that aluminum that was in her mouth for however long, that there's some kind of like chemical or whatever that got into her bloodstream because of that, and is just simply, she's got it. And it's just not, there may be no way to completely cleanse her of it, as there is no way to completely cleanse me of tamoxifen. I'm always going to have deposits in various parts of my body of it.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what it is. I just feel so, I identify with your mom so much because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What inspired you to write the book, Boeden?
Yeah. So my main reason is I want to get this information out there. I come back to, do I think titanium is the worst thing in the world? No. But if we're going to be still doing these things, it needs to be 100% titanium, or I believe that ceramic or zirconia implants are much superior. That's what the holistic dentists are preaching now. But I just want people to be aware that when they put these things in their body, that there's even if it's a really small chance, that it completely ruins your life. And I think that is going to make you think twice before getting it.
Yeah, and I assume too you're only 19, right? So I assume your mom is pretty young, and she's got a lot ahead of her. So
she's 48.
Yeah. So it's got to be. And you talk too in the book about how prior to all this happening, she was very healthy, very fit, and not someone who. I mean, it's got to be. Obviously, it would be difficult for anybody to go through this, but I would imagine it's especially difficult for someone like her who's used to being so active.
Yeah, I mean it is terrible. I mean nothing short of terrible. She's super fit person. She was a dietitian, physical trainer, all that. So that was like her big thing, and it's been really difficult. Breaks my heart.
There's a point in the book too that I found particularly heartbreaking when she was at a point where she was starting to feel better, significantly better. And it seemed like it was a really good turning point. And she maybe she pushed herself a little too hard or something, but she was out somewhere, I think maybe with one of your siblings, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And she was having a good day and it was going well and she's feeling good. And then all of a sudden she just started feeling terrible again. And it was just this enormous setback. And I think she fell, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So there was kind of two. So you're referring to when she took my little brother to the zoo, and actually, it wasn't anything super crazy. She literally just walked too much. That's what she says. She walked too much that day, and she felt like a big just drop. She calls it poison in her body because it feels like tingling all over, and she felt it drop into her legs, and she said she knew she was in trouble when that happened.
Oh God. Yeah. And then after that, it was kind of back to square one, right?
Yeah. So she had, up to that point, that was the best she'd been. Before that day, she was probably up to a good 60%. And then, that happened and been struggling more with the lower body now.
Wow. Oh, that's horrible.
It sounds like CRPS.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with me. Everything was upper body and then it dropped into my legs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so crazy. I'm so sorry that your mom has had to struggle through these. But I commend you for what you're doing. It's so important to get information out there so people are informed and can make informed choices.
Absolutely.
How does she feel about the book?
She, so kind of funny. Right away, so I didn't tell her that I wrote it until it was already done, because I knew that she was kind of a stubborn person and is kind of embarrassed about the whole situation and probably did not want to be a main focal talking point. But then once I brought it to her, she was really happy and we had a good moment about it. And I told her that this is a message that needs to get out there, and it sucks that you're kind of the talking point, but it has to get out there. I just don't want to see this happen to a lot of people. So,
has this kind of spurred her to do any other, does she do any interviews or any kind of media about this, or is it just your book for now that you've written?
Mainly just my book for now. Yeah. She just doesn't really like that kind of thing, talking about it. She's just she's a stubborn person. She's tough-nosed, and she's, like I said, kind of embarrassed about it. So I'll be the guy to talk about it. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, to be able to do this and even survive, you've got to be tough, right? So someone not with the fortitude that she obviously has, would have thrown in the towel by now. But she's obviously a very strong person to be able to continue to deal with this every day and continue to function and live. And wow. And have you written other things prior to this, or is this your first book, or have you?
Yeah, this was my first book.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. Yeah. No, it's excellent. Did you have an editor, or did you do everything yourself, or?
Yeah, I had an editor, and then I had a guy who helped me with the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very good. I encourage people to read it. I'm also curious because I don't think you address this specifically in the book, but in terms of, so they removed the titanium, and partially aluminum tooth. Did they replace it with something, or does she just not have a tooth there now, or what happened there?
Yeah, she's just empty there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know if there was a danger in not putting something else there, or I guess at the moment it probably doesn't much matter because what she's already dealing with is so difficult that.
Yeah, exactly. It was like at the time when they were taking it out, they probably would have wanted to put something back over top, but she was just like, I feel so bad right now, just get it out and we'll deal with it after.
That makes sense, though. I can definitely understand that. I can understand that. Is there any kind of hope? Have you and she and your family been able to find anything that, any sort of alternative treatment or anything that might help her, or is she just kind of stuck at 40% and that's kind of it for the moment?
Yeah, I've been really reaching out to a lot of people. I've found in the more alley of holistic dentistry, which is more like natural practice dentistry, and there's potentially some heavy metal detox we're going to look into down the road here that I want to get into. But she's actually going in, I believe, next week sometime to get a scan of her head to make sure there's no leftover fragments.
Okay.
Excellent.
And then if, of course, and that'll be, if they find something, that's half the battle, I guess, right? Locating, but then they have to figure out how to get it out, right? So
exactly, which then that will be difficult, but if they find something, we'll get it done.
Yeah. And at least too, then you'll know, then you'll have an answer, is that what it is? Is there any kind of a theory about why? Because like I said, there's that point where she started feeling significantly better. I mean, I assume you've probably all been over this a million times, but have you and she and your family tried to figure out what it was during that period that was different that helped her to feel so much better before she had that setback and all of that?
Yeah, I really don't know. It's such an interesting thing to me. It's like you stated earlier, it's like when once we got it removed, you're thinking, all right, we're probably getting better here, eventually at least. And she was getting so much better, and I'm thinking, oh yes, I'm fine. My mom's finally gonna be all the way better. And then it was just like one day she walks too much. Like, what the F, there's no way. I mean, she was as fit as somebody could be. So to her, even walking a lot, that was like exerting 20%,
Yeah.
So there's just no, and I really don't understand, but yeah, to answer your question, I don't really know what it was exactly.
Yeah. And it must be so hard too. And you do talk about this quite a bit in the book. You get very personal about the challenges for your family. Obviously she's going through this terrible thing, but it affects all of you. It affects your dad and your siblings and how hard that is, and how, and when you're a kid, I mean, it's probably, although adults, it's a challenge for anybody, right, of any age, but especially when you're growing up and, this started when you were 12, right? You said you were 12 when this whole thing started.
Yes, sir.
Like, you don't know at that age how to handle all of this emotionally, and to see your mother going through this. And your sibling, are you the oldest of three? Is that?
Yes, I am the oldest. And then I got right now I'm 19. I have a middle brother who's 16, and then I have a youngest brother who's 10.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, your 10-year-old brothers, for him, it's got to be very, very hard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And I talk about this a little bit. I did a bad job as well. I was so young, and I kind of just got caught up in my own little world. And I talk about it a little bit. I almost got annoyed,
Sure.
It's like, why is this just isn't fair to me, selfishly thinking, why is my mom like this? This is ridiculous. But then it's like later on, it's like, oh man, I was terrible,
Now, don't do that to yourself. do that to yourself. You're young. You're a kid. Your brain is wired a particular way, and it's not a bad thing about you that in that moment you weren't able to view the entirety of what was going on. And that's just a process of getting older. You can't fault yourself for being a kid and not seeing a full view because you just didn't get there yet. Now you do. Look at everything you're doing. You're doing incredible things. You didn't just come around. You came around to become a champion to make sure that other people are forewarned. And that's absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good to reflect on. There's such a thin line between, kind of reflecting and analyzing, a thin line between that and ruminating on the past and beating yourself up and whatnot. But I think it's good to reflect on what you maybe could have done differently so that you're able to be supportive going forward. But again,
Absolutely.
like Jenny said, I mean, when you're a kid, you're still trying to mature and grow emotionally, and to feel some sort of resentment or frustration along the way, or that's perfectly normal. That's normal for adults too, but especially when you're a kid, it's like you really got your family, your mom especially, but your family really got dealt a bad hand with this whole situation. So you did the best you could, and the great thing about writing this book is, hopefully this is going to help other people. Like you said, you want to raise awareness about this and kind of warn people about what they might be getting into, and make sure too that if somebody wants to put titanium in you, read the fine print. Make sure ask your doctor, ask the surgeon, is there anything else other than titanium? I'm trying to think of what else do they use titanium for.
I'm not sure.
Hip replacements, right? I think hip replacements are titanium.
Yeah,
everything pretty much is, because it doesn't set up a metal detector, and it's a rather good material.
Yes.
I mean, everybody, you need to be informed. Maybe there's things you look out for. Maybe there's some kind of allergy involved with aluminum that triggers in some people and not others.
Oh, yeah.
You don't. My mom's got a titanium knee, and it went remarkably well.
Yeah.
So there's the good and there's good and bad in anything. So really, just being fully informed and then making informed choices. Or maybe you get tested for heavy metal or whatever. I don't know what the exact answer is to it.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like anyone does.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because, like you said, and I kind of say this a little bit too, it's like most people are probably going to get it and be just fine. But in my opinion, I think if something like this is even a potential, I just don't find myself taking that risk.
Right.
And I think as time goes on, we're going to start to see alternatives that are safer, or at least, like I said, I would like to see everything be all 100% titanium. I would be more okay with that even.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that you've written this book, do you have plans to write another one? Are you going to continue writing, or maybe write about other things, or what's kind of your trajectory in terms of writing?
Yeah, so I never thought I would do anything even close to this. It's funny because when I was probably mid-teens, I said how much I hated reading, and then now I'm just a reading freak. I love reading and I love writing too. So
yeah.
But as for writing more, my hope is that we find an answer with my mom. We get her detoxed, and I want to write about that. That is my end goal.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be a wonderful book to write, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be awesome.
I would love to read that. So so hopefully that happens. Boeden Greenley, thank you so much. Before we let you go too, I want to make sure everyone knows where to get your book. Of course, it is called Perseverance. And what do people need to know about how to get it?
Yeah, so right now it's available on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. And we should tell people too, tell people how to, because Boeden is not a name you hear every day. How do people spell that when they're looking for you?
Yeah, it's Boeden, and then Greenley is Green, Ley.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us today. Like I said, it's an excellent book. I I want to say I enjoyed reading it, but enjoy isn't quite the right word because, like I said, it's such an unhappy subject. But
yeah.
But I'm really glad that you sent it to us and that we were able to do this today and help.
Absolutely.
You know, even if we help one person or prevent possibly one person from making a mistake, that's a good thing. So I'm really glad you were able to join us. And even, you know, even if it's a while before you have written anything else, if you have any kind of a big update on your mom in the future, we'd love to have you back. This is something that we want to continue to pay attention to and support you and your family in any way that we can. So let's definitely stay in touch, Boeden.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
All right. Very good. Boeden Greenley, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was Boeden Greenley, and he is the author of Perseverance, which you can find at Amazon.com. And like I said, it's a good read, but it's a very difficult subject.
Medicine always is.
Absolutely. I'm going to play something from our hour number 2 guest, Silicon Kong. And this is not one of the tracks that he sent me, but it's one that I particularly like. So we're going to play this, but then Silicon Kong will be with us in the second hour. Don't go away.